And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My mic is over there. Got to bring the mic closer. How are you all doing today on this wonderful Tip Tuesday? Today we're going to be talking about beach photography. I am taking pictures on the beach. That's what we'll be doing. And I got so swept into something I forgot to do on my slide presentation. So we're just going to go straight from our Patreon page, and then we can celebrate the Patreon as well. So we'll do that today. So much fun. And I hope you guys are staying cool. It's another hot day in New York City. The weather is right now, and I think it should be 90 right now. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see what the temperature is. And yeah, it is hot in New York. Oh, it's 89, so it's almost near 90, and it's feeling like 100 or the mid 90s, depending on where you are in the area. But it is hot. It is hot again this week, but it is summertime. It is summertime, and I am just like, yuck. I do not like the summer. I do not. I have to tell you, don't like when it gets above 80 degrees. Yeah. Below 80, I'm fine. I am fine below 80 degrees. So, how you guys doing? What's new in your world? Hey, Hannah. Hannah's the first person in the building. She gets the gold. She gets the gold this morning. So good to see you. Are you doing any gardening this morning? Any gardening? So, I just got some news about my closing. So my closing looks like it's going to be near the 7th of September. So I'll be skedaddling in September. So that's how it works. And so wow, it's coming. It'll be here before you know it, right? And I did also have some photos that I wanted to share with you. And since I did share some of them from the fireworks here at the house, excuse me as I scratch my eyes because they're itching. And I said, let me share some photos with you all. And I was able to take some photos here from my window, as I normally do every year. And this year was the last year. No, say it isn't so, as they say. But I'm looking something up here. And I'm a little discombobulated today because I am just a little tired. I'm just like, okay, just want to just hang out and do nothing. But I got work to do. So let me see. Why are the files not showing up? And yeah, I didn't even send out invitations because it's gonna be we're gonna have an early dismissal today. Maybe. I mean, it depends on it depends on you guys. You guys control the talk. You guys control the conversation. And so yeah, here's some photos. We're gonna get some photos from the firework night because so many people responded. Do you know almost 2,000 people looked at the posting that I posted for the fireworks and for 4th of July? So I said, you know what? Let me share with you the collection. And I created a collection for it. And you guys can just enjoy it for what it's worth. And while we're waiting for folks to get in here, and so let's pop it on the screen. Let's get it on the screen so you guys can check it out. And yeah, here we go. Here we go. And then we're going to talk about a little bit of news, what's going on in LA, what happened in LA yesterday. I was like, why is my phone buzzing and blowing up? I didn't know what was going on. And then I looked and said, am I looking at the Planet of the Apes? Am I looking at something from some strange movie? And then it turned out it was LA, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So here are the finished. This is the finished collection. So a lot of these photos are not online, but they're going to be online with our community. So yeah, I was able to take some beautiful photos of the fireworks, and it was so you know I don't even know what word to use. Is that when I first bought this apartment, I was so excited that I could see the fireworks. That was one of the reasons why I bought the apartment, because I could see the fireworks, besides the skyline view and everything. And I've been able to watch the fireworks when it's on the west side, when it's on the downtown, on the Lower East Side, the Upper East Side, Middle East Side, and I've been able to see the fireworks from my window. And I've taken some interesting and beautiful photos over the years. But you will see if I show you the first pictures I took, you're like, oh man, that's horrible. Because in the beginning, I did not know how to take pictures of fireworks, but I could use my own, you know, every year. Some years I would get a good photo, good photos, and then some years I would get bad photos, and 'cause I didn't know exactly what I was doing. And as I became more professional about my work and read and looked and did research and follow people that are really good at firework photography, I still don't have it. I don't think I still have it the way I really like. Some folks are really brilliant photographers of fireworks. And but these are my simple photos from the fireworks. And I said, let me share them with you guys, because again, I finally finished the whole series last night. And so I said, let me share this with you guys so you can experience it. And can I get this on a wide screen? Let me see. Copy view in. Let me see. I guess I can. Let's see. Oh yes, I can. Oh yes, I can. So there. Oh, that's too. No, that's too tight. That's too tight. How do I get that back in? Oh, okay. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so I think I can use the cursor. Oh no, that's not gonna work. Okay, so I go back down to the low. Can I get up? Let me see. Let's try it again. Let's see. Nope. Okay. Oh wait, it does. It did do it. Okay. Okay, it did do it. So these are some of the photos. And when I first moved into the apartment, the Macy's fireworks was located on the Lower East River of Manhattan. A lot has changed since I moved in this apartment. And when I first moved here, you see all of the silhouette buildings, like all those tall buildings that are silhouette. None of them existed. Even the World Trade Center behind it did not exist. When I first moved here, nothing existed on this skyline. When I first moved here, nothing existed. Maybe some of the small buildings, they existed, but all the skyscrapers, and none of them were here. When I first moved here, there was no World Trade Center like you see today. It was the Twin Towers. Another reason why I bought the apartment is because I could see the Twin Towers. I was like, oh my gosh, they're right outside my window. But then now is almost 30 years later, and look at how the skyline has changed. Like I said, all of the tall buildings in silhouettes and the World Trade Center and the buildings that are going to be around the World Trade Center, none of that existed 30 years ago. Just 30 years ago. So anyway, let's see if we can enjoy some of these photos. So, and let's see, will it pop up? Was it gonna? Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna have to kind of like move the cursors a little bit. Okay, I'm just gonna go full screen. Just do it this way, and then I'll zoom in. Okay, that's how we'll do it. And the Macy's fireworks was so brilliant. And also that's different too, because back in the day they had the fireworks show, but they were not as brilliant as they are today. Today you have all the technology that's involved in the photography, for our cameras, but also in the presentation, like creating these shapes. Right? You see all the shapes and different shapes that were booming into the sky. Thank you, Mimi. Good morning, Mimi. I see you in the building. Elise is in the building. I see you. Hey, also, if you're in the building, make sure you hit the likes. And let me let the folks know we're in the Instagram that we're on here. Eventually, I'll get my TikTok people back involved in this thing. But here we go. So, but there we are. There we are. Hey, Kimmy Kim, I see you. I see you, Kimmy Kim. So let's go to the next one. I mean, the colors, the beauty of the colors of the fireworks is just incredible. And yeah, it's just, I had a good time photographing. Um, and my guest did too. Cass says, Ron, those pics are not simple. Change that word, please. They are awesome, and it feels like you are there, drawn into the picture. Oh, thank you, Cass. So, and here's some more. I have to say, I've gotten much better over the years. I'm able to get this streak because you want to get the streaks. So that means you have to set your shutter speed at the right speed, not too fast, but just enough to get those flows of the fireworks. Um, Kim says fabulous pics and the backdrop of the buildings, those close-ups. Yeah. And then this is my neighborhood. This is the buildings in my neighborhood down below, you know. But so much has changed on my skyline. My skyline has changed so much. Then again, you had these like popcorn type fireworks. Yeah. And here's another one. Like it looks like a little, I don't know what you call it, like something from the like one of the genos, DNA or something. But again, I love when they do the explosions of reds and the greens. But again, most of the time when I'm taking pictures of fireworks, I will have my shutter speed, and I am not afraid of a high ISO, especially in today's cameras. Like my ISO was at 3200, which is basically where I shoot when I'm doing indoor events or kind of like in an arena or somewhere, because to get the best light for the image. I used to be like, oh my God, I can't get above 100. I gotta keep my ISO low and yada yada yada. And I don't do that any longer. I just simply try to take the picture. And so that's what I do. I focus on getting a good picture versus the techniques of how I'm getting the picture. Like I said, I used to think about, oh my gosh, I got to keep my ISO low. I got to do this. I got to do that. Now also technology has given us the ability to have high ISOs and then be able to go into our post processing and be able to adjust that ISO, the we call it ISO. Remember we talked about earlier in some of our lessons, the graininess of the photo. So we have the tools now to make better photos. And this is also another. I love the layering of the fireworks. Hey, Jamel Shabazz is in the building. What's going on, brother? He's in the building. Aya is in the building. Lisa's in the building. Brian's in the building. Hello, people. Hello. We're just talking about the fireworks, and then today's topic is going to be beach photography. And but that, I mean, look at that. So just wanted to share the series with you guys because you are the family. You are the people that support what I do. So why not share what I do with you guys? Again, here's another explosive. I'm always timing the photos as well. I've been doing this a while, especially the Macy's Day Parade, the Macy's fireworks, that I can gauge by how the flares are going up from the barges. and how bright they are is, and then that lets me know much robust um how robust the fireworks will be. So if I see beautiful orange bright flares leaving the barges, then I know it's going to be a big boom. And also, if I see multiples, like you'll see boom, 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 you see them rising up one at a time, one at a time. They're moving fast. I know then I'm going to get layers. So there is a technique in and timing of the fireworks, understanding how fast they're moving. And then also those for that do take pictures of photo of fireworks. And you'll see, we talked about this last week in our class when I talked about using your smartphone to take photos of fireworks. Taking the same thing with the smartphone. On my large camera, I have to focus on places like, I don't know if you can see my cursor. Let me see here. Okay, so you see this building right here? I wish I had a bigger cursor, but this building right here, I will take the focus square and focus on this corner. Like I will focus on this corner so that way, and then I will try to lock it. On the back of your camera, you can lock your focus. So I will lock the focus and just take the shots. It's because now I know everything else is going to be focused because I locked the focus. You can do the same thing with your smartphone. And then as the event is going, all you got to do is just tap the button. Bam, 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 bam. Sometimes mini bams. Bam, 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 just keep shooting. And then you go through them all. After you finish taking all of your shots, then you go through and you say, oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. Oh, wow, this is a great one. This is horrible. 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 And then you collaborate, you go through all your photos and you create a carousel of all your favorite photos, and then you start editing them. Now, some of the time, I get so excited that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a great shot. And so I'm going to take this shot and then I'm going to edit it really fast, like I do when if I'm going to share it on social media, like you saw I did the day after, I should say late July 4th, Saturday, on Friday, well, Saturday, because it's in the morning. And let me see if I can now go to the next one. Hold on a second. So then again, when the layers are happening, and you also are able to get, I am always thinking about composition. So I need my audience to know, I need to answer these questions. When am I taking this photo? Why am I taking this photo? Where am I taking this photo? How am I taking this photo? And what am I photographing? We had to learn those, the four W's and the four H's and the Y, I think it is, or the four Y's and the H. When you're doing English, when we were in elementary school, we had to learn, what, where, why, and how, and why. We had to learn that. Well, the same thing can be applied to your photography. So you're gonna get 2 lessons today. I'm sorry. You got to get 2 lessons today. So I wasn't going to go into depth in this, but since we're here and there are going to be more fireworks during the holiday season, this is summertime. So you're going to have Coney Island. There's fireworks every week, I think every Saturday at Coney Island, there's fireworks, or is it Thursday? I know there's certain days at Coney Island here in New York City. Well, you may be at one of the playlands or the, Walt Disney World or any of these places. You're going to see fireworks all through the summer. So take notes, take notes. They're here today. You're here to learn. It's Tip Tuesday, so I'm gonna give you lots of tips. And again, there's a lot going on in the world. I am more drawn to saying this channel is going to be more and more photography driven versus what's going on in the world. We'll talk about it, but I will be more towards photography because I think a lot of folks in this community love photography. That's why you interact with me. So let's do more photography and share. Yeah, Lisa said they're still cracking those things in the neighborhood. They finally died out yesterday. Yesterday, I did not hear any more in my neighborhood. Okay, so but again, you see, these photos is all about timing, and again, focusing on this one building, which now brings the focus in alignment, so that way I can get these great shots. I'm not trying to get the World Trade Center, even though the World Trade Center, I should say I have the World Trade Center in because it's part of the composition. The composition, the World Trade Center anchors the photo in the in the where, right? Because now when someone picks up this photo or they pass by this photo or it happens to be online and they look at this photo, the question of where it was photographed is answered almost immediately for those that know New York City. So composition is about telling your story all in one frame. So in this frame I'm answering a lot of questions. Where is New York City? Why? I'm photographing because it's the 4th of July. How am I photographing? I gave you guys some information. You can tell I have a slower shutter speed. However, it's fast enough. You can see also maybe my ISO is a little high because there's slight little bit graininess to it for those that are photographers. And then you can say, well, I did the what, I did the how, I did the where. You can say when. Well, we know the when because the 4th of July. All right. And did I get them all? And how? So I got them all, right? When, where, why, and how. So let's go to the next one. So you can see some of the photos. Look at this one. Look at this shot. I mean, now this is one of the ones that got me excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I got one of these. Because the whole thing also is to get the trails. Great, the best firework photos are the photos that are able to capture the trails. What do I mean by trails? When you see these lines blowing away, like you see the burst of the firework, but then you see the lines or we call the trails coming from the fireworks after the boom. So catching the trails is what makes the firework photo, that much better. Hey, David's in the building. David Moscato is in the building. Aya says, will there be a visual photography book, digital or hard copy, available for Patreon members? Ooh, Aya, now that's a good suggestion. It is possible. Do you mean of just the fireworks or maybe the years of fireworks? Maybe we can create something. I don't know. Would you be interested in a photography book with years of photos from my window? I've taken some really cool photos over the years. Yeah, I have enough photos to create a book. I do. Let's go here. Let's check out this one. The next one. Here we go. There's a vertical. Sometimes I want to go with the environment. So the environment, because now I have the World Trade Center there and I have these tall buildings in the background, I wanted to include them in the story. So I cut off the other fireworks, as you can tell. And I also want to include the tall buildings that surround it. So I'm telling a story. So this is my cover story. This is my cover picture. If there was a book, this would be the cover story, the cover page. is another, look at this one. This one is where, again, I'm thinking about composition, but this time I'm thinking about composition and how it relates to my neighborhood. I'm thinking about how does this relate to my neighborhood? So I'm in my window. These are my neighbors, their rooftops and all that stuff. But now I'm trying to, what is this firework display? How does it relate to my neighborhood? So again, continually telling different stories within the story. Okay. And you can see the tops of the bridge over here. Like you see, that's the Manhattan Bridge. Right below here is the Brooklyn Bridge. You can just see the top part of it where there's fireworks going on the bridge, which is giving the glows on all of the buildings that are this building that is it's kind of like I forgot, this is Richard Gyrey building, a very famous architect, and it has all the ripples in it, and then obviously the World Trade Center. So let's go to the next one. And again, more connecting to the neighborhood, the apartments, the buildings, and so there you have it. And then so David says, did you already mention your settings? Yes, I did. I had my settings on roughly between my f-stop was 10 or 13. I kept moving back and forth between 10 and 13. My speed was at 250 or 350. Most of the time is at anywhere between the two. I'm shifting depending on the fireworks. Like I said, I can kind of like tell as the fireworks are going up, I can figure out now after all these years which kind of fireworks are going to go into the sky. And if I know that I'm going to get the big boom with the trails, then I go back down to 250. And if it's something that's going to be the Macy's fireworks, when they have like the balls or different kind of like geometrics in the sky, then I shoot it at 350 because I'm not worried about I'm not looking for the trails. I'm looking for the shapes. I want to catch it as it booms and it has a shape of these little objects that they're creating. So that is how I've learned over the years what kind of fireworks are going up into the sky by the sound of them and also how fast they're moving from the barges. I know that's a lot of technical stuff there, but once you've done it over the years, you get better at it. Aya says Ron's recollections, perhaps a visual photography book of your reflections comparing fireworks during democracy years, Obama years versus dumpster years. It's interesting. There was only one lull in Macy's fireworks. And that was after, I should say, as we were coming out of COVID. However, I got some unique photos because of it. For instance, Macy's, because they couldn't have a lot of people gathered during COVID, they used the World Trade Center they used the Empire State Building as a launching of the fireworks. So you had these amazing flares, and it was beautiful to see the Empire State Building involved in the Macy's Day fireworks, which had never happened before until during the COVID years. So it has changed according to what's going on in the world. Also, the fireworks have changed because of war. Like when we were, in different, like I would say the Afghanistan, when we got into Afghanistan, the fireworks changed because back in the day, New York City when we were going into war after Desert Storm, New York City stopped lighting the bridges Before that, the bridges used to be lit a lot light. We're just now going back into lighting the bridges because they didn't want the bridges to be targets. So the landscapes, like I said, the landscapes keep changing. And when I first moved in this apartment, none of the tall buildings, none of these all these buildings that are silhouette did not exist. Neither did the World Trade Center. So yeah, so the world has changed dramatically over the years as I photograph the skyline. And I photograph many different skylines because I photograph up the East River when it's from that window. Then if it's on the west side, it's another window. So I've had the opportunity to photograph a lot of images from my window of the fireworks. I guess that would be a good idea to make a book out of it. I don't know. I just call it from my window, I guess. Fireworks from my window. That's interesting. Aya, you may have to get some credit. That was a good question. Definitely good questions there. I see here. Aya says good. Ron's Reflections. The title is Ron's Reflections. Oh, bursting reflections. Okay, let's go to the next one. I'm just going to do some of these. Let me go through them a little faster because I want to get to the lesson. We're making good timing. But look at that. Look at that. Isn't that like the Walt Disney shot of the castle? Hold on a second. Let me take Aya off there. But isn't that like it's like Walt Disney, right? Look at that. It looks like Walt Disney, the castle, right? Lisa says, I like the through my window take, not just fireworks, but all the cool stuff you were able to capture from your perch over the years. That's a good quote. That's a good one too, Lisa. I've captured, especially during COVID, I was able to capture people, the marches from my window, the empty streets, people on their roof. Every night at 7:00, the beating of the pots and pans. I was able to take pictures of all the people coming onto their roof, beating the pots and pans. Yeah, there's been a lot of change in my neighborhood. Again, like I said, when I first moved into this apartment, there were only 2 skyscrapers in front of my window. There were only 2 skyscrapers, 2 tall buildings in front of me. Now there are 30. Oh, you can almost say like it's 1 per year. Now the skyline is Brooklyn has a skyline like most cities in America. Like our skyline in Brooklyn is probably just as intense as some like Atlanta, maybe Charlotte. So some of the middle-sized cities in America, Brooklyn has a full skyline over the years. Okay, let's go through some of the more photos. Here we go. I'm just gonna go through. Look at that. Look at that. So I got some good shots in. Got some good shots. I try to also do some varieties. As you see, there's some close-ups. There's some wide angles. There's some buildings that have nothing to do with the World Trade Center behind them. I try to shake it up a little bit. Like you see here, these are those geometric fireworks. There's more geometric fireworks. They probably have a special name for them. This is when the Brooklyn Bridge was on. Fireworks are coming from the Brooklyn Bridge underneath the world, so you can see it's like below the World Trade Center, and the beautiful burstings of the reds and everything is going on there. There are more geometrics, balls within circles, smiling faces, and then there's some more. There's some more geometrics. And again, there's a wide angle of everything, like exactly how I see things, how I see it from my window. And there, And look at the balls. The balls were so cool. 'Cause they were like they looked like balls in the sky. And and that's it. So there you have it, guys. Just wanted to share with you a little bit of what I experienced. And man, it's bittersweet. I tell you, I sat there and said, wow, this is my last 4th of July here in from this apartment. And my last 4th of July probably here in New York. And it's bittersweet. It's bittersweet. But I will be able to bring photos from around the world for you guys, hopefully. And that's where we'll be heading. And yesterday I had a chance to talk with my financial advisor. And he was like, brother, you're going to get taxed. And I told him I had already calculated the taxes and everything. But he is like, we had to sit down financially and kind of like build out. Once the sale is done, we will sit down and this is, how I feel, guys. I'm always going to share with you, I think, hopefully sound, educated thoughts. And in this process of change, one is always fear in change. But when you know your goals and my financial advisor yesterday, he and I were talking, and and he would say, he said, I can't believe you pulled the trigger. I said, I can't believe it some days too. And the apartment sold faster than I ever thought it was going to sell. The apartment went on the market on Sunday and it was sold by Thursday. Yeah, now we're in contract and everything. So that is how fast things happen when you are, at least for me, when you're in some kind of alignment. Uh, that's the best way I can say. When you're in alignment of your destiny, things happen in interesting ways. And so he was telling me, he goes, you really pulled the trigger. And I told him, having this apartment, the goal was to sell this apartment when I reached retirement. And he says, you didn't hesitate. I said, no. I said, because what I learned on Wall Street, my 15, 16 years on Wall Street, working on the trading floor, following stocks and options, looking at Mad Money and all the financial gurus out there, CNBC, and learning about finance, and also Warren Buffett and how he trades and how he invests in stuff. And one of the major rules you learn as a financial person in the financial world, if you have a financial background, everyone knows this, is that you cannot become emotionally attached to your investments. The failure of most people that invest is that they become emotionally attached to their investments. For instance, you bought a beautiful stock. That stock is taking off. You made some good money on it. You are doing well with that stock. And you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to give it up. I just made so much money on this stock. But you have to let it go. At some point, you have to say, okay, I got my wins. I made 300% on this stock or more. I got to let it go and invest in something new. At the bottom again. Because you have to be able to pull the trigger and say, I cannot be emotionally attached. And it is a lesson to learn also about life. We have I remember there was a movie I saw years ago. This is like maybe in my 30s, maybe in my 20s. And it was about, it may have been, I don't know if it was Still Magnolias. Maybe it's still, it may have been Still Magnolias. I can't remember which one it was. And there was a scene in the movie where one of the characters is dying and, passing away, transitioning. And the spouse or the relative or the friend, I can't remember what it was, is get ready to say goodbye. And she's kind of like has a cheerful moment of saying, look, it's okay. I'm going to transition. I'm going to go to the next place. And she goes, we're all borrowed. We're here. Time allows us to be on borrow to everyone else. So we are in this place of always being in new friendships, new relationships, new partnerships, new things, buying new things, having new things, but nothing is permanent. Nothing in life is permanent. And we have to always have that mindset that today is the last day for this particular thing. And we can never become so attached to things that we can't move forward to grab hold of our futures. When you are attached to things, my dad used to always tell me, he used to say, what kind of water flow do you want to hang around? He's like, what kind of body of water, what kind of water would you like to hang around? And I was like, He goes, you want to be near water that's moving. You want to pitch your tent next to the water that's moving versus the water that is stagnant. The water that is stagnant draws the mosquitoes, the bugs, and the water that is stagnant begins to smell. It begins to not be so appealing. It may look like good water, but the water is just not good. And then you look at the streaming water. There's a certain freshness of the air about it. It's moving. You can feel the clean air moving with the water. I used to hike all these, for years. I used to hike the Catskills and the Blue Mountains and White Mountains and stuff. I used to do a lot of hiking back in the day. And you always love the waters that were moving. All right? That's why we love waterfalls, because they're moving. Most of the time, there's stagnant water is not so appealing. So keep it moving, y'all. Keep it moving. This is going to benefit someone who's listening. I don't know who. I'm just sharing from my heart. It's a Tip Tuesday. I'm just sharing as my summer is winding down. Well, we're technically almost in the middle of it, because the end of July is the middle of summer. I am reflecting. I'm in this period of reflecting, but I'm also in this moment of pure bliss. The unknown. I thrive in the unknown. I mean, that's part of the reason why I'm a procrastinator. I thrive in the rush of the unknown. I like challenges mentally. I like being in environments that I have to formulate a mindset, or I have to think about what's coming next. I'm constantly in a mindset of chess. as much as how fun it was to play checkers when I was a kid, checkers are cool. They're great when you're playing with the kids. When you're a kid, you just want to play checkers because it's quick. But chess is a different kind of board game. My neighbor and I were last night. He said he used to work in law enforcement, and he was telling me last night. He said, "I'm so proud of you." He said, "I'm so proud of you." And my other neighbor, she was in the courtyard last night, and she said, "I am so proud of you. You are opening my eyes to something I never thought that could be done." And I said to her, "We can all do it. We just have to plan. We just have to pray." I'm a believer of prayer. I am a believer of consultation. You always hear me say this. Like I told you, yesterday I was with my financial advisor. I believe in the power of advice. I have a community right here that I can get on the phone, and some of you guys know I talk to you about different thoughts, different ideas. Surround yourself with people that are smarter than you, and you can't go wrong. Surround on this Tip Tuesday. Maybe we just go in a different direction. Maybe we'll do beach photography next week because I don't want to keep you too long. We'll do beach photography next week. But hear this wonderful tip. Today has been it's been a bunch of tips here today. You have in yourself the power to do anything you want to do. And with that, you have the power, the God-gifted power of humanity. Our greatest resource on the planet is humanity. I know in this day and age, humanity could look quite disturbing on so many levels. But also our greatest reward, our greatest asset, our greatest nurturing and the ability to move forward are the human resources we've been blessed to have in our lives. Every single person in your life has a purpose. Not in a transactional mindset, but everyone has a purpose. I get something from every one of my friends. Even my, I don't know if I have too many, I don't have any enemies, but I do have people that I don't like. But even with the people I don't like, there are moments of learning because of who they are or my handling of how I deal with them. Every single person in our lives is a gift. The good, the bad, the weird, the crazy, the not so smart, the intelligent, most intelligent people on the planet, wherever. Every single person in our lives has a purpose. And so today you got some fireworks photography tips. Today you're getting some tips on just being human and reflecting on who you are. I am very thankful for this season of my life to be able to reflect so I can appreciate you. I appreciate every person that's in this chat, that's here, that's part of this community. You come from all parts of the world. There are people in this community from Tanzania, We have friends, we have people in this community from India. We have people here from the West Coast, the East Coast, the South Coast, the Midwest. This is a broad community. We have photographers, we have artists, we have creatives, we have intellectuals, we have people that are geared to making sure that you have, we have the wonderful Lisa with her Hello Healing, and always giving affirmations on trying to be a better person. We have so many people in this community. It is a gift. You can reach out to each one of these people and learn something. Cass is full of wisdom, always got some wise statement and quote, right? Every single person in this community is important. And I'm going to close. The body of anybody, in the body of any community, the community is the body. Let me put it that way. And like some scripture says, right? What good does the hand say to the arm? I'm just paraphrasing, that I don't need you. Right? Could you imagine the arm saying to the hand, I don't need you? Or the hand saying to the arm, I don't need you. Or the hand saying to the feet, I don't need you. I don't need you. No. The hand has a purpose. The foot has a purpose. The arm has a purpose. Every part of the body has a purpose, and every part of the body looks different. Yes, right, Elise. Elise says we need community and connections. Cass says, learn from all experiences, things, and human, the good, the bad, and the indifferent. Mimi says, everyone comes into your life for a reason and a season. Remember, seasons change. Elise says, we learn something from every interaction, experience, and event. Mimi says, gotta know when to hold them and when to fold them. The next chapter will be beautiful. Blessings, Ron. Preparation is key. Janet is in the building. I like that. Cass says, strategic and critical thinking mindset. This is what you guys have been sharing along the way in this conversation. Elise says, that's the beauty of change and transition. Cass says, in the profession of doing counseling as a clinician, they say, make each season like the last, because not sure if you will see the client again. Make it count. Make it count. Make it count. Make it count. And that is our last word. That is the last word for today. Make it count. Make it count. Make your friendships count. Make your relationships count. Make your photography count. Make your painting count. Make your life count. Cass says, all works in unison. Unity is needed in communities. Okay, guys, thank you for joining me today. We will do the beach photography next week, but I'm sure you got some good tips from today's photography lessons in fireworks. If you're just joining in, you can just repeat and go into that. Let me also give you some banner stuff. You know how we do. Oh, whoa, they changed the format. What's going on here? Holy moly, this StreamYard just made some changes. Here we go. join my email list today. Make sure you do that. You can join the email list. Go to my website, ronlewisphotos.com, and I do a lot of stuff. So, but we're going to be taking this show on the road in the future. So tune in. I will share with you different countries, different places, as God gives me the ability to do it. Also, I am an event photographer. And if you need event photography, reach out to me. I do it all. Event photography, as in also events, meaning news, photojournalism. Also, a thank you to our Patreon members. Thank you, Patreon members. Your support helps us create amazing content. If you would like to become a Patreon member, just go to patreon.com and put in Ron Lewis Photos, and you can support what we do here at Touch Base Daily through there. And you can also support me as I do my work. And also, last but not least, is Photograph Your World, Home, Work, and Play, Virtual Basic Photography 101. If you want tutoring in photography, let me know. Go and slide into my DMs and we can set up. I do tutor photography. I am a tutor. Okay, so there you have it. Okay, guys, if you want any information about what we do here, also you can scan that QR code and it will give you a whole list of things that I do and what I'm involved in. Okay, I think we got it all. And Lisa says, have a great day, everyone. Stay cool. Yes, it's hot in New York. I'm going to this cafe to get in the cool air so I don't have to run my air conditioner all day. Janet says, catch your wisdom and richness on the replay. Travel with the spirit. I love it. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me and have a wonderful day. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.